Hey guys, my name is Daniel Moveki and I'd like to thank you all so much for joining me today. Most importantly, I'd like to thank God for enabling us all to be here, because we know there are many who would have loved to have seen this day today but did not get their chance to. And so we say thank you to God. Well, we also say thank you for this is the last weekend before we get into 2021. And we want to say thank you so much for this year also to God. It's not been an easy year, but the fact that we have all got to see the end, we say thank you. For those who did not get to see this, for those who've lost loved ones, for those who've had a difficult year, I pray that God will continually just be with you and give you peace and strength during the difficult period and season that you have gone through. Well, today in the video, I'd like us to talk about New Year's resolutions, and this is something we all do around this time of year. We all sit back and say, wow, I want the next year to be different. I want to do things and achieve certain things. And so we all make plans for 2021. But today we want to talk about how to make SMART goals for 2021. I know most of you have learned this and have heard of this, but I found it very important that we just go through it together. And as you know, the word SMART stands for something. You must make goals for 2021 that are specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. A lot of times we end up not achieving the things that we plan to achieve because they don't fall into the criteria we've mentioned. And so the most important thing you must do before you sit down and start doing resolutions for 2021 is something we spoke about in the last video and videos before that. And we said you must take stock of 2020. Look back and see what worked, what did not work. What did I overachieve? What did I underachieve? What did I overestimate that I would do? What did I underestimate myself to not have done? And you see, my friends, when you do this, then you realize, probably for most of you, you don't even have to do New Year's resolutions. All you need to do is an old year revision and reapplication, because what you'd planned for 2020, you did not do. And so you can carry them forward into 2021. However, you must realize that they must fall under the criteria of SMART for them to be achievable. There is no need, and it makes absolutely no sense, for you to have 55 bullet points of things you want to do, while in 2020 or years prior to that, you've only achieved to do 3 things. And so you must sit down and narrow them down. Don't plan to do too many things at once. They say too many cooks spoil the broth. And so plan little by little and write them down so that you can achieve them. And so, guys, if we talk about specific in SMART, you must nail it down to a simple paragraph or probably a 3-liner of what it is you want to do. It must be specific. It must be clear to you. And so that's what specific is all about. Don't make it ambiguous. Narrow it down. Probably even 1 line, 1 bullet point. Pop, this is what it is. Secondly, must be measurable, man. Must be tangible. Must be something you can measure and see, I have done A, I'm going to do B, then C, then D. Make your targets measurable. Only then can you see the progress that you're doing. All right? Thirdly, is you must make sure, as we've mentioned in SMART, that they are achievable. How do you know this? By looking at what you have not achieved prior to this. By looking at yesteryears and seeing what have I always been saying I'll do and I've never done. So I have never achieved them. Why haven't you achieved them? Break it down. Do a post-mortem of why you've never achieved certain things. And then you will be able to understand, it's because I have never put in the time, I've probably never put in the effort, I've never put in the resources, I've never put in the right people around me to do this thing. And that is why it has never been achievable. And so you must change certain things in your life to ensure that this target, this goal, this New Year resolution is achievable. And if it's not achievable, then don't make it. Okay? We also have to make sure that they are realistic. You know, a lot of times human beings fall short of this word realistic. Sometimes we are too ambitious. I'm not saying ambition is bad, ambition is good. But it must be within realistic boundaries. All right? I think it's absolutely unrealistic for an 18-year-old today to have a New Year's resolution that they want to be a multi-billionaire. They want to be in the Forbes list by the end of 2021. Because a lot of things in life take time. A lot of things take time to build. A lot of things need consistency. And I said in a previous video that if you look around and see successful people in your life, you better remember one thing. They probably have had over 10 years of consistently doing their craft, consistently improving their craft, consistently putting in the effort in that craft. And that is why they are where they are today. There's a man I heard the other day talking about something. It was so beautiful to me. And he said he once met a young boy. And this young boy came up to him and told him, when I grow up, I want to be just like you. You know, he was a big motivational speaker, a person who would move crowds and get people to, look into their lives and plan to do things differently. And so this young man came up to him and said, I want to do what you do. And the young man said, that's good. I'm happy you want to do what I do. But are you willing to do what I did? You get that? You want to do what I do, but are you willing to do what I did? Are you willing to put in the effort that I put in to be where I am today? Are you willing to put the time in that I put to be where I am today? And so, when I talk about realistic targets, you must know that you must put in time. You must put in effort. It's like a small child. A child grows. You cannot wish your child to be 10 years old and they were born yesterday. There's a process. It will take 10 years for them to be 10 years old. And so make realistic targets for 2021. And finally, they must be timely. You know, the problem with a lot of things that we do is we don't give them time. We don't give them a schedule. We don't give them a time at which they must be achieved. And so when you leave things open-ended, you keep procrastinating. Procrastination is a cancer that is in our society today. And a lot of people, myself included, suffer from this. Procrastinating and procrastinating and procrastinating. And so it's absolutely important that you make targets and goals that are timely. Put timelines within them. You could say in the first quarter, I'd like to achieve A. And so by March, this must be achieved. And so when March comes, you'll sit down and look and see, have I achieved this or have I not achieved it? Then the second quarter of the year, I'd like to achieve B. The third quarter of the year, I'd like to achieve C, and so on and so forth. And so, my friends, this is a period that we are all sitting down and strategizing for 2021. Don't just make goals, make smart goals. Don't just make targets, make smart targets. And I'll ask you guys one very important thing that I always emphasize about. Make sure that all this is encompassed in God. Make sure that you deliver your plans to God. The scripture in the book of Proverbs tells us, give your plans to the Lord and you will be successful in carrying them out. And so, whatever plans you come up with for 2021, whatever targets you come up with for 2021, whatever resolutions you decide that you want to achieve in 2021, commit them to the Lord and you will be successful in cutting them out. And so, guys, may God bless you. May you have a lovely weekend, and I pray that you'll get into 2021 with joy, peace, health, and most importantly, with a relationship with your God, your Maker and Creator, for He created you for a plan and purpose. Until next time, take care and God bless.